There's this artist, Ayra Starr. She's so fire, and I just met her the other day, and she's so cool.
Really? I never
She's
heard of
really cool.
Ayra Starr.
She's gonna be a star for sure.
Maybe. Maybe.
The Ayra Starr Roc Nation announcement seemed like a coronation, a move that would rocket her from Afrobeats royalty to household name in America. But what if this was the biggest mistake of her career? Let's be real, we've seen this movie before. A brilliant international star tries to cross over into the US market with all the bells and whistles. There's crazy headlines, the hype is insane, and then it all just fades. We've seen artists sign their dreams away to entities that just didn't get them. So today we're breaking down how this massive power move could actually be a trap for one of Afrobeat's brightest acts. It forces us to ask a serious question. Is this Roc Nation deal a win for Ayra Starr? Or is it just the same old industry story with a new glossy cover? To get why this is such a huge risk, you have to understand what's at stake. Ayra Starr isn't just another artist, she's a full-blown anomaly. Ayra was plucked from obscurity and became a female teen pop star, a rarity in the African music scene. From the moment she dropped her debut project with the legendary Nigerian label Mavin Records, she was marked for greatness. With smashes like Bloody Samaritan and Rush, she built a massive global audience, blending her incredible voice with a sound that was modern, soulful, and unapologetically African. More so, she's part of a generation of Afrobeats artists that has a full global access into other music markets thanks to streaming. And because of all this, I feel like Ayra Starr has chosen one energy. She was established and placed in position to take full advantage of the groundwork laid by previous Nigerian artists to go global and be this huge superstar.
Forget what you're hearing now. It's been generations of hard work from talented artists that came way before me and way before even Wizkid and Burna. Just amazing artists that that worked so hard to build what Afrobeats is today.
You can tell by looking at her. When she first came onto the scene, I saw her model-esque physique, and I knew she was meant for international horizons. And her numbers, they're just insane. We're talking billions of global streams, and she's currently the most followed African female artist on Spotify. But in recent years, she's been making waves outside Africa, particularly in France, where Rush went mega viral, helping to establish herself in Europe. So it was only a matter of time Ayra threw her hat into the ring, into the American market.
There's nothing I can't do. You guys, there's nothing I can't do now.
Mavin Records signed a distribution deal with Republic Records, UMG, along with a touring management deal with UTA, United Talent Agency, to help further promote her globally. But when news broke she was signing with Roc Nation for management, it felt like a more concentrated effort to break into the American scene. This is the house that Jay-Z built, home to megastars like Megan Thee Stallion and Christina Aguilera. On paper, this move is understandable. Ayra adding Roc Nation along with Mavin, UTA, and UMG means having access to the best connections, the best marketing minds, and the best resources to break into the brutal American market. In theory, Roc Nation could possibly unlock doors, pushing her music into spaces that she couldn't get into on her own, and getting huge collaborations.
Jay-Z. I feel like for my inner child, I need a song with Jay-Z.
Oh god, please no, I'm not checking for a Jay-Z feature anytime soon. This should be the ultimate launch pad, especially if she gets the 2024 Meg treatment. Then for sure Roc Nation can help create the next global superstar from Nigeria. But here's the thing, a launch pad can quickly turn into a disastrous crash and burn. Once the hype fades, we need to look at the good and the bad. Some pros Roc Nation has, they're a very influential company with arms in sports, film, and publishing. It's part of the Carter ecosystem after all, so maybe there's a potential beat collab that Ayra could have in her future.
Is that in the near future?
Maybe.
Nah, I'd honestly prefer Rihanna. It just makes more sense.
I love that.
Music management is just one piece of a complicated puzzle with Roc Nation, but with such a large roster, every client might need to fight for their slice of the spotlight. That was the case for Mariah Carey. Yes, the Mariah Carey. She used to be under Roc Nation, and I think she left. It actually made some news. She left and she was saying that she wanted more attention and more of a concentrated effort to her career, and Roc Nation's clientele was just so large. Like the roster was just so big that she didn't feel like she was getting enough attention to get to where she wanted to go. But it's really interesting. So if Mariah Carey had those issues, I wonder someone on the level of Ayra Starr, what's going to happen to her. But, this is where the perfect picture starts to get a little blurry. Roc Nation's track record with international artists and even some of their domestic ones is very mixed. For every major success, there are whispers of artists who got signed with a ton of hype, only to get lost in the shuffle and see their momentum grind to a halt. The heart of Roc Nation's brand is American hip-hop and R&B. That's the playbook they know. So the big question is, do they have a different game plan for an Afrobeats pop artist like Ayra Starr?
To be honest, I don't know.
Because short-sighted or ignorant decisions can terminate an artist's long-term growth, where they try to force her into a box, watering down the very thing that made her special, or worse, end up being her ball and chain. You don't have to search very hard for the cautionary tales Roc Nation has fostered. The biggest one right now is Megan Thee Stallion, depending on how you look at it. While she became a massive star, her time with Roc Nation has been enthralled with exhaustive public legal battles. I'm not even factoring in the Tory stuff. Like, she's been through so much, like, it's insane. The 1501 certified entertainment debacle, and all of that isn't really anything unique. There's a few names that come to mind of other clients of Roc Nations that have gone through similar situations when departing from their old agency or label, signing on to Roc Nation. So, you know, it's just this side-eye, definite side-eye. But not only that, Meg's music, since linking up with Roc Nation, hasn't hit the same way when she first came onto the scene. I know Roc Nation is just her management, but managers cultivate the brand from the aesthetics to the music of an artist, so I'm sure they had some input on what her releases would sound like, or at the very least what their songs' themes would be. It's a brutal reminder that prominent management doesn't mean a smooth ride, and I'm wondering if Roc Nation will change Ayra's formula for the worse.
Which I can't say because I signed an NDA, guys. Sorry.
Because I need that inspirational, spiritual, uplifting twinge music that she's known for. I also want to highlight a notable client of Roc Nation's, Tiwa Savage. She was the first lady of Ayra's label, Mavin Records. Tiwa was signed to Roc Nation from 2016 to 2019, and I didn't see much of an impact, you know, on her career other than collabing with Beyonce on the Gift soundtrack. But to be fair, I don't keep up with Tiwa, so I could have missed a lot. I do know that she signed with UMG in 2019, so maybe Roc Nation helped elevate her international profile to nab that deal. But the thing is, Roc doesn't have a consistent track record, even though they've helped a lot of artists. There's just as many who have not benefited from them, faring better elsewhere once they've ended their deals with the agency. For instance, Doja Cat was signed to Roc Nation, and I think in the early 2010s or like around 2014, and then she exited, and then around 2018, 2019, she blew up into this massive star. And I think a huge reason why she didn't really do well with Roc Nation, they didn't know what to do with her. They didn't know how to market her. She was just too different. This could be a nightmare scenario for someone like Ayra Starr, that she might become yet another name on the long list, another unique talent whose specific needs are ignored by a system that doesn't understand them. But this is all my speculation. Tell me what y'all think. Do you think I'm overthinking this whole thing?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Ayra, let's go.
Do you like Roc Nation? If you're pro Roc Nation, comment a heart. If you're anti, then comment a ghost. Or whatever. But the problem isn't just Roc Nation, it's the American market itself. Breaking an Afrobeats artist into the US is its own special kind of challenge. A barrier for a lot of international acts is US radio. Radio is still a ridiculously powerful gatekeeper, despite streaming being the most popular way for music to be consumed over here. Radio spins still carry a lot of weight. Without it, it's incredibly tough to become mainstream in America. Then you have the categorization problem. Award shows, media outlets, they often have no idea what to do with African genres. Sometimes they just shove it all into Afrobeats, or worse, they ignore it completely for more familiar genres. This makes it hard to build a critical momentum that every superstar needs. This is where strategy really matters. Artists like Burna Boy and Thames built their American audience from the ground up. They did it with non-stop touring and smart, authentic collaborations, all while using platforms like TikTok to create viral moments. Before they went all in with major US management deals. They built a loyal grassroots fan base first. Ayra is trying a different path, a top-down approach, relying on a massive industry giant to clear the way for her.
It's been amazing.
Ayra's Nigerian label, Mavin Records, did all the hard work. They found her, developed her, and made her a star. UMG is her global distributor, and now Roc Nation has swooped in to manage her specifically for America. This kind of multi-layered machine can be a gift and a curse. You get this huge global infrastructure that at its best can make you a household name, but at its worst, there can be too many cooks in the kitchen and things can be bogged down. Then there's the existential question, how to make a global female African pop star. It's never really been done before. Thames is the most successful example, and Tyla is a close second, but she's falling off at the moment. Not only that, but with so many entities around Ayra, I worry about who really be running the show. More so, Roc Nation has a reputation of coming in and taking most of the control and the profits of an already lucrative brand. Meanwhile, the previous management and label is left with crumbs despite doing all the groundwork. In other words, will Roc Nation be a true partner or a parasite?
Maybe.
Okay, so after all that doom and gloom, I need to be clear. This is not a eulogy for Ayra Starr's career. Nothing is set in stone. There are positive signs that this could all work out. The biggest one being that she's casted in the new Blood and Bone movie. That's going to be huge for her. And she's been a special guest on Coldplay's massive Music of the Spheres world tour, performing in stadiums across North America and Europe. And this is great exposure. However, I don't know how cross-promoting with Coldplay's demo could help Ayra, but I'm just going to be positive. Good exposure, good exposure. Her streaming numbers are still gigantic, and her social media as well. She has that undeniable it girl factor that cuts through language and genre barriers. Honestly, I don't think Ayra needs Roc Nation, but if they truly decide to make her a top priority, they could have the power to make her into a big star. They can manufacture big cultural moments, like getting her music placed in great movies and TV shows. They could do Saturday Night Live, give her A-list feature. I've said this all before. Anything that's needed to cut through the noise. You know what I mean? It's a high risk, high reward gamble, especially with all the lawsuits Jay-Z's been getting and that huge federal lawsuit Roc Nation CEO was hit with. It makes me wonder why Ayra decided to hitch herself onto the sinking ship. But on the bright side of it all, if it works out, it could write a whole new playbook for how female African artists could conquer the world. So did Ayra Starr sign a career-ending deal? Look, it's way too early to call it, but I think we should all be asking these questions though. She's dealing with a complex label structure, a management company with a spotty record in an American market that's still figuring out what to do with Afrobeats. Her success now hinges on her business partners. It hinges on their dedication to play the long game. But most of all, it hinges on Ayra herself and her team at Mavin, fighting to protect the very artistic vision that got her this far. Ultimately, Ayra Starr's future is in her hands, not just Roc Nation's, but the question still stands. Will this deal be a promising launch pad, or will it be an anchor that weighs her down? The next year is going to be very telling. As always, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.